does. She's worked too hard to get to where she is. And with all that she has survived, it hasn't made her hard. It hasn't made her mean or
Grey's Anatomy
cold.
fans predict the show's ultimate ending. Grey's Anatomy is heading into its 22nd season this fall, but fans are already buzzing about how the series might eventually wrap up. After nearly 2 decades on the air, theories about the show's grand finale are gaining traction online, especially around Meredith Grey's fate. On Reddit, many believe the long-running Alzheimer's storyline could come full circle. One fan predicted Meredith herself will develop the disease while working on a cure, and ultimately use her own research to save herself. Others think she may fall short, either getting Alzheimer's just before completing the cure or finishing the breakthrough too late. Some even imagine a heartbreaking final scene where Meredith forgets Derek, cementing the show's full-circle ending. Another theory shifts the spotlight to Maggie Pierce, Meredith's half-sister, suggesting she could be the one to inherit Ellis Grey's Alzheimer's gene, with Meredith racing against time to cure her. The speculation doesn't end there. Viewers are also guessing at the futures of other Grey Sloan doctors. Some believe Amelia Shepherd might rise to become chief of surgery, while Catherine Fox could succumb to her cancer. Meanwhile, Teddy Altman and Owen Hunt might meet a tragic end in an accident. Of course, not every fan sees an ending in sight. One joked that Grey's Anatomy will outlive us all, claiming Shonda Rhimes' children may inherit the series. As Grey's Anatomy returns October 9th on ABC for its milestone 22nd season, fans will have to wait and see whether any of these theories hold up, or if the beloved medical drama has even more shocking twists planned. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. Grey's Anatomy fans predict the show's ultimate ending. Grey's Anatomy is returning for season 22 this fall on ABC, thus continuing its streak as the longest-running primetime medical drama on television. However, questions about how much longer the series will run have been continuing to surface in recent years, especially after it was scooted to the October 9th time slot starting in season 21. So, naturally, some fans are already starting to envision where the show might be heading for its eventual grand finale. On Reddit, one Grey's watcher offered up a theory about the ultimate ending of the show that is based on recent events, chiefly the fact that Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, has devoted her professional life to finding a cure for Alzheimer's, the disease that claimed her mother's life. If it ever does end, I think it's pretty obvious Meredith will get Alzheimer's while working on the cure and use it to cure herself. I think that's where it's headed personally, the original thread poster predicted. Another user responded with a bit of disagreement, predicting Meredith gets Alzheimer's just short of the cure or finishes it right as Alzheimer's hits hard. Yet another user concurred with the prediction that Meredith would become afflicted by the disease she's feared so well all season long and even conjured a specific scene in which that may play out, writing, I am imagining Meredith talking with someone, and they mention how Derek would love to see how far she's come as a surgeon after doing X, Y, Z, legendary, groundbreaking, never-before-seen work. Then she says, who is Derek? Another who agreed that Meredith getting Alzheimer's is the obvious direction the show is heading for had a similarly gulp-inducing vision for how that will look, writing, it is my thinking that in the last episode, the Alzheimer's causes Meredith to go back before she had Ellis and she is searching for Derek, which breaks Nick's heart. At least one poster had a different theory about where the long-running Alzheimer's thread may be sewn up, turning to Ellis Grey's, Kate Burton, other daughter, Maggie Pierce, Kelly McCreary, instead. The poster wrote, I do think Maggie is going to get Alzheimer's and Meredith will discover a cure. Maybe too late for Maggie, but before Maggie dies, she gets the first dose. It will be unexpected since she most likely has the gene too from Ellis, but the focus is so much on Meredith with Alzheimer's, it's gonna sneak attack. It's worth noting, of course, that Maggie is no longer a regular character on Grey's Anatomy at this time, but she has popped back into the show on occasion. Meredith's fate wasn't the only subject of the thread, of course. Other predictions about the future of Grey's included a theory that Amelia Shepherd might eventually become chief of surgery, Catherine Fox, Debbie Allen, could ultimately succumb to her cancer, and Teddy Altman, Kim Raver, and Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, might perish in an accident. One commenter had a much brighter vision of the future of Grey's, however, writing, bold of you to think this show is ever going to end. I swear Shonda Rhimes' children are going to inherit the show after she dies. We'll have to wait to find out what's ahead for Grey's Anatomy when the show returns for season 22 on October 9th. Until then, what are your thoughts about how Grey's might end? Hit the comments below to weigh in on these theories or offer your own. 20 years later, Grey's Anatomy fans are still clashing over the show's most overlooked element. Some may find it hard to believe that ABC's Grey's Anatomy first debuted in 2005. Originally conceived as a mid-season replacement, this steamy medical drama quickly became one of the network's must-see dramas. It's still running 2 decades later, but devoted fans have noticed a subtle shift in the show's musical tastes. And this is where many people will dismiss such observations as a natural consequence of time. 20 years of prime time will change a lot about any show, and Grey's Anatomy is no exception. Only 3 of its 10 original cast members are still around. The last of these departures, Alex Karev, Justin Chambers, dropped in 2020. Moreover, what was popular in 2005 will look wildly out of place in 2025. But fans' complaints go even deeper than surface-level griping about the pop culture landscape. Grey's Anatomy star Kevin McKidd announces the death of his father, grateful for the years of love and laughter. "Thank you for making Mum so happy for the 56 years you both had together," McKidd shared in an emotional tribute on social media. Kevin McKidd is mourning the loss of his father Neil. The Grey's Anatomy star, 51, shared an emotional tribute to his late dad on social media on October 24th, alongside several pictures of him over the years. "Heartbroken today, but grateful for the years of love and laughter we all had together," he wrote. "Thank you for making Mum so happy for the 56 years you both had together. Love you, Dad, always." The post included a snapshot of his father smiling for the camera, a black and white photo of his parents together, and his dad sitting in a garden. The final picture showed McKidd wearing a kilt alongside Neil and his mother Kathleen. McKidd's Grey's Anatomy co-stars shared their condolences in the comment section. "Thoughts and prayers for you and your whole family," Jason George shared. Ellen Pompeo just spilled on nightmare Grey's Anatomy scene that had her in tears. There are plenty of crazy moments through Grey's Anatomy history. Izzy cutting Denny's LVD wire in Season 2, Meredith learning Derek and Addison were married at the very end of Season 1, and, of course, the overall decision to kill Derek by having him stop perpendicular on a curved road to reach for his phone, according to one BuzzFeed comment that made me laugh. But there's one insane moment that actress Ellen Pompeo still hasn't watched: Meredith and George, T.R. Knight, sleeping together in Season 2. Here's why Ellen Pompeo said Meredith Grey and George O'Malley's love scene in Grey's Anatomy Season 2 was a nightmare. Ellen Pompeo cried real tears during her sex scene with T.R. Knight. The scene comes in Season 2, Episode 18, Yesterday, and 19, What Have I Done to Deserve This? Or rather, in between them, when George and Meredith decide to sleep together, then Meredith changes her mind and George gets all offended. 20 TV show characters whose deaths still haunt us. Even though deaths in TV shows are purely fictional, the loss of a character audiences once loved can still be difficult to process. Keep scrolling to read about 20 of them from TV shows that still get us worked up. One of 20 Finn Hudson and Glee. Finn Hudson's death in Glee was unexpected, as creator Ryan Murphy worked the storyline into the show's 5th season after the actor who played Hudson, Corey Monteith, tragically died in 2013 due to combined drug intoxication. The episode, titled The Quarterback, was seen by over 7 million viewers and received positive feedback from critics. 2 of 20 David Rosen in Scandal. David Rosen's death in Scandal still doesn't make sense to us. The gladiator in a suit survived much controversy throughout the show's 7 seasons, so to have him smothered to death by the former vice president in the series finale feels kind of off. 3 of 20 Lincoln Campbell in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Lincoln Campbell became the ultimate hero in the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after he sacrificed himself in a nuclear explosion to save those closest to him during a pivotal time in the series. 4 of 20 George O'Malley in Grey's Anatomy. Another Grey's Anatomy death that makes us tear up whenever we see it is that of George O'Malley. The surgical intern was pronounced brain dead, intense we know, after being hit by a bus, yes, even more intense, during a dramatic Season 6 episode in 2009. 5 of 20 Logan Roy in Succession. Succession fans knew former CEO and businessman Logan Roy would die eventually. However, that didn't make his death on a private jet during a random episode in the 4th season any easier to deal with. Plus, to make the scene even more emotional, While Roy was receiving chest compressions, his children had to say their final goodbye to him while taking turns speaking on a cell phone. 6 of 20 Derek Shepherd in Grey's Anatomy. Derek Shepherd's death in Grey's Anatomy was not easy to deal with. However, it saved many hearts from being shattered in future seasons. Plus, other dreamy doctors would eventually join the cast as the show progressed. 7 of 20 Pussy Washington in Orange is the New Black. Pussy Washington's emotional death in Orange is the New Black came during the 4th season's penultimate episode, when the inmate was accidentally killed during a prison protest. The unexpected death sparked chaos in the prison, as the complaints from those jailed regarding the building's correctional officers were finally being heard. 8 of 20 Wes Gibbons in How to Get Away with Murder were still not okay with Shonda Rhimes, Peter Nowak, and the ABC family for killing off How to Get Away with Murder's marquee player Wes Gibbons. His girlfriend's father murdered him after almost uncovering a massive secret. 9 of 20 Verna Thornton in Scandal. Although in the land of make-believe, President Fitzgerald Grant had a valid reason for murdering Verna Thornton in Scandal after learning she rigged the election that got him the White House. Seeing her go out the way she did hurts every time. 10 of 20 James Evans in Good Times. Although in the land of make-believe, President Fitzgerald Grant had a valid reason for murdering Verna Thornton in Scandal after learning she rigged the election that got him the White House. Seeing her go out the way she did hurts every time. 10 of 20 James Evans in Good Times. Another scandal death that took us by surprise was that of James Novak. The journalist, also known as Publius in the series, was close to uncovering damaging secrets about the White House administration before Jake Ballard, command of the fictional B613, murdered him in the middle of the street. He deserved so much more. However, we think it's safe to say he got his revenge in the end. 12 of 20 Villanelle in Killing Eve. Another TV show character shot while trying to protect someone they love is Villanelle from the thriller Killing Eve. The character, played by Jodie Comer, died in the series' finale moments after reconnecting with Eve, played by Sandra Oh. 13 of 20 Ghost in Power. Deaths in the TV show Power were a common occurrence, but Ghost being shot by his son Tarek is one nobody saw coming. 14 of 20 JT in Degrassi. JT went through so much on Degrassi, and he'd become many watchers' favorite character, including ours. So, when the high schooler was stabbed outside of a party during a heartbreaking Season 6 episode, it shook us up completely. His friends found him outside before rushing him to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. 15 of 20 Nick in The Resident. The hardest part about watching Nick's death in the USA TV show The Resident wasn't the car accident, but how painful it was to see her partner Conrad struggle with the decision to take her off of life support after she'd been declared brain dead. I can't let go, he says during the emotional episode. What if we do this, and it's the end? And I can't ever talk to her again. Tears flow every time. 16 of 20 Will in The Good Wife. Will Gardner from the TV show The Good Wife was shot in one of the most unexpected ways. After his client, who was struggling with mental health issues, began lashing out in court, he grabbed a bailiff's gun before turning to shoot his attorney. 17 of 20 Opie in Sons of Anarchy. After a rival prison gang member's daughter is murdered in the FX show Sons of Anarchy, Opie Winston, played by Ryan Hurst, is beaten to death with a pipe during an emotional scene in the show's 5th season. 18 of 20 Keith Scott in One Tree Hill. Keith was loved by many on One Tree Hill, so moving on from his death was a bit of a challenge. But what makes his storyline so emotional for us as viewers is that his death came at the hands of his brother Dan. 19 of 20 Glenn in The Walking Dead. To round this list off, we have to mention Glenn Ree's tragic death during the Season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead. His storyline coming to an end was already a lot to deal with, but to have him die so brutally at the hands of Negan with a baseball bat was almost too much for us to take as viewers. 20 of 20 Bonnie Winterbottom in How to Get Away with Murder. Bonnie Winterbottom was Annalise Keating's right-hand man in the ABC series How to Get Away with Murder. Unfortunately, the associate attorney's story was cut short when she died in the middle of the crossfire while trying to save her friend, Frank, during the show's explosive 6th season. Eric Dane explains why he was let go from Grey's Anatomy ahead of Season 9. While it seems like Grey's Anatomy has been on the air for what feels like forever, 19 years to be exact, there is one character that has never been forgotten, Eric Dane's Dr. Mark Sloan. ABC's long-running medical drama had many memorable deaths over the course of nearly 2 decades, but none has been more chaotic than that of Sloan, also dubbed McSteamy. The character was brought on in a 2006 Season 2 episode and stayed on until 2012 Season 9 premiere, where he tragically died from injuries sustained in a plane crash. Dane, 51, recently appeared on Dax Shepard's Armchair podcast, where he got candid on how his exit from the Shonda Rhimes-created show went down. Every star who's left Grey's Anatomy, where are they now? I think I was let go, the Euphoria actor said, adding that at the time of his departure he was suffering from addiction issues. In 2011, Dane entered a treatment center in California to deal with his prescription drug problem. However, he insisted that the producers didn't let me go because of that. Although it definitely didn't help. I was starting to become, as most of these actors who have spent significant time on a show, you start to become very expensive for the network, he explained. The Bad Boys Ride or Die star went on, and the network knows that the show is going to do what it's going to do irrespective of who they keep on it. As long as they have their Grey, they're fine. Ellen Pompeo has starred as the titular Dr. Meredith Grey since the show's inception in 2005. She took a step back from being a series regular last year but remains an executive producer, a frequent guest star, and narrates each episode. The Men of Shondaland. Where are they now? Patrick Dempsey, Alfred Enoch, and more. Dane continued, I wasn't the same guy they had hired. So I understood when I was let go. And Shonda was really great. She protected us fiercely. She protected us publicly. She protected us privately. But I was probably fired. It wasn't ceremoniously like, you're fired. It was just like, you're not coming back. He then revealed that when he first signed on to the drama, he had been sober for a few years. But the instant fame from starring on a hit network series took a toll on him. If you take the whole 8 years on Grey's Anatomy, I was kept up longer than I was sober. And that's when things started going sideways for me, he confessed. It was overwhelming, and I think I just wanted to pretend that it wasn't and that I was comfortable with it. Act like you've been there, but you haven't been there. Jack McBrayer is set to make drama-filled guest appearance on Grey's Anatomy. See the trailer. The 30 Rock alum will play a patient named Tom Costello, who arrives at Grey Sloan Memorial for a kidney transplant without general anesthesia. Jack McBrayer is coming to Grey Sloan Memorial. In the trailer for the October 10th episode of Grey's Anatomy, the 30 Rock alum, 51, plays a patient who is at the hospital for a kidney transplant. As they prepare to operate, Simone Griffin, Alexis Floyd, introduces the patient as Tom Costello, 33. Kidney transplant without general anesthesia. What are the benefits of an awake surgery? Asks Nick Marsh, Scott Speedman, as the interns appear somewhat stumped. While laying on the operating table, Tom questions, is he prepared? Related, Grey's Anatomy's Camilla Luddington teases, Joe B will be stuck in her own tornado of emotions and hormones, exclusive. The actor is best known for playing NBC page Kenneth Parcell on 30 Rock, which ran for 7 seasons from 2006 to 2013. In 2009, he received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series for his performance. He also voiced Fix-It Felix Jr. and Wreck-It Ralph and Wander in the Disney XD series Wander Over Yonder, and created, executive produced, and appeared in Hello, Jack, The Kindness Show. Elsewhere in the trailer, Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, prepares to do a liver biopsy on Catherine Fox, Debbie Allen, and tells Nick that her cancer may have spread. Richard doesn't know, does he? He replies. During the procedure, there appears to be a complication as machines beep off. Meredith acknowledges she might never wake up for this. Richard needs to know. Related, Grey's Anatomy's Camilla Luddington reveals why Joe and Link's love story is very reminiscent of my own, exclusive. On the season 21 premiere of the hit ABC medical drama, Meredith discovered Catherine's cancer was progressing and she needed immediate treatment, but Catherine wanted her to keep secret and advised to keep your mouth shut. She planned to keep her son Jackson Avery, Jesse Williams, and husband Richard Weber, James Pickens Jr., in the dark about her condition. Meredith then questioned what happened if she didn't comply, and Catherine replied that she would prevent Teddy Altman, Kim Raver, Amelia Shepard, Katerina Scorsone, and Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, from getting their jobs back after they were fired for their involvement in Meredith's secret research. You're threatening me over your health? Meredith fired back, and Catherine responded, I've blackmailed people over far less. Allen, 74, told previously people that there are more challenges ahead for Catherine on this season of the ABC medical drama. Ms. Catherine's going to go through some real challenges with her health and understanding of her role in the leadership in that medical world that she lives in, she teased. The actress noted that the show is so dynamic, adding, "I wish I could tell you, but I'm telling you, week to week to week, we laugh out loud, we cry. We're going to make the world care, which is what Grey's Anatomy has always been. We are following the footprint that creator Shonda Rhimes has left us," she continued. "And we have an incredible showrunner now, Meg Marinis. She is amazing, so collaborative, but also can see where we're going to go, and we're all there." Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.